Alright, so even though there wasn't a cup race this weekend, there was still some Xfinity and truck races going on in an IndyCar race this weekend during the Cup Series final off week of the season. So yeah, we got Xfinity at Road America and trucks at Mosport. Let's go ahead and jump right into those races in IndyCar too. So Xfinity race at Road America, it was pretty meh, not much happened except at the end. Christopher Bell dominated, won this race. The big talk was at the end on the last turn when Michael McDowell got spun by Austin Cindric on the last turn. I know what you're thinking. Did Cindric dump Matt DiBenedetto? No, he didn't. DiBenedetto in the post-race interview admitted that he was a dumbass and that it was his own fault he got wrecked. It's okay, Matt. We all are human. We all make mistakes. But yeah, and also in other news this weekend, we got a good rumor on who's going to be the replacement for the Benedetto in the 95 in the Cup Series. And the replacement is going to be Brandon Jones. Are you fucking kidding me? Brandon Jones over Christopher Bell? Why? Why? Just why? Why is this an option? What the fuck has Brandon Jones done to earn a cup ride? He's done nothing except wreck car after car after car after car. Out of all the things Levine Family Racing could do, this was the worst option they could possibly consider. This better be fake news. Seriously. Seriously, did Joe Gibbs, do you not get the message? You can't keep Christopher Bell in Xfinity forever. If you try this shit again, remember David Reagan a decade ago when Roush wanted to keep him in Xfinity forever? And eventually he came up, and then he came up not as good as advertised. Do you really want that situation to happen again? God damn it. Jesus, Christopher Bell is ready for a cup ride. He is more worthy in that 95 than Brandon Jones ever will be. Brandon Jones has done nothing to prove that he is worthy of a top cup ride. Fuck, Cole Custer's more worthy of a cup ride than Brandon Jones, too, and DiBenedetto. But of course, in the new NASCAR, it don't matter if you have talent. If you're a talentless hack but happen to be a rich kid or happen to have a famous last name, or hell, if you have a famous family member working for a top team, then you're gonna get an undeserved top ride. Because let's be real, if Jones gets a 95, he doesn't deserve it. It's simply being handed to him. Instead of giving it to guys that have actual talent and care about racing. And NASCAR wonders why the sport is on a decline and why the ratings have dropped. God damn it. And why the racing has sucked ass overall. But, then we'll continue that rant another day. Continuing on, IndyCar race at Gateway. Another really solid race. Best race of the weekend, hands down. And it ends in a photo finish. Takuma Sato beats Ed Carpenter out by 0.04 of a second. It's not often. It's a rarity that we have an IndyCar race end in a photo finish. Alright, I know technically it was 0.0399, but if you round up no matter what to 2 or 3 decimals, it'll still be 0.04 of a second regardless. But yeah, Sato gets the win. As we get closer to the end of the IndyCar season, both Dixon and Rossi had bad finishes, which dipped their point totals down. Don't worry, we'll get to the IndyCar points at the end of the video, just like we did last week. But yeah, of course, next week is Portland, the Grand Prix of Portland. Also for Xfinity, next week is the Darlington Throwback Race. Let's be real, folks. There's no need to watch that race next week. Because Dale Jr. is still going to be in that race even after his plane crash. And let's be real. Jr.'s in the Leach 8 car. Yeah, Junior Draft NASCAR is without a doubt gonna rig that race for Junior. Without a doubt. Like, after that plane crash and everything, there's no way they're gonna have Junior lose that race. No way. And if Junior somehow loses at Darlington, I will laugh my ass off if Junior doesn't win. Like, I think now everything's set in stone for it to happen. NASCAR's gonna rig it. Just watch, book it. But one positive that came out of Xfinity this week was that now there have been changes to the Cup Leech rule, to where now in 2020, Cup Leeches will be limited to 5 Xfinity starts in 2020. And it applies to all drivers with at least 3 years of Cup Series experience. So now the Leech definition is now changed from 5 years of Cup experience to anything above 3 years of Cup experience. We're slowly getting the Cup Leeches out. Good. Even though really this year, even with 7 starts, the Leeches have really been non-existent since goddamn April, since none of them can figure out how to win a goddamn race in the best equipment possible, when their cars are like 10-20 miles faster than the field. Man, it's just been a tough year for the Leeches. They can't catch a break. But anyway, of course, that's next week. And oh yeah, next week we got F1 coming back for Belgium. Whoopee, we're now back on the trend of Lewis Hamilton laying ass whoopings on the field again, as Lewis Hamilton's on his route to a 6th championship. Let's pray to racing gods if we want F1 to be unfucked, that Lewis Hamilton has a monumental collapse. But yeah, we'll talk about that next week. So anyway, final race, we're going to talk about the truck race at Canadian Tire Mosport up in Canada. Honestly, every year we've had this truck race in Canada, it's been one of the best races of the season. This year was not the case. This is actually one of the worst truck races all season. Like, when you have Brett Moffitt win a stage by over almost 16 and a half seconds, there is a problem. Well, in stage 2, Brett Moffitt got put in traffic off a pit stop cycle, but Moffitt ended up getting the lead back in stage 3, and then Moffitt dominated the rest of the race to win by like 5.6 seconds. So yeah, this officially shows that even though a lot of tracks have had history of putting on great races, it's not always a lock or a shoe-in. So really, for the first time since the Truck Series went to Canada, we had a bad race. This is like the first bad race we've had at Mosport. Like, ouch. Brett Moffitt gets the win. So that's now his 4th win of the season. Like I said he'd win 4 races this year. So yeah, he's won 2 races in this round. If he wins Vegas, he completely sweeps the first round. Maybe get the brims out? We'll have to see. But yeah, and of course, since this was a wildcard race, the points took a massive turn. Like, we'll go over the truck points in a little bit. But of course, Truck Series, they won't be back for 3 weeks until their round 1 cutoff race in Vegas, around the time the Cup Chase starts. But yeah, anyway, I think I've talked about everything else in this video, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at the points for IndyCar and the Truck Series. So here are the IndyCar points real quick. Of course, still a 4-man race at this point now in the season. So you see Joseph Newgarden, he has a pretty sizable lead over the field. But Newgarden, he just needs to have 2 solid races for the rest of the season to lock up the championship. Pagenaud and Rossi, they're not in massive deep holes of 38 and 46 points respectively. And keep in mind, Laguna Seca is a double points race. But I think Pagenaud and Rossi, they need to try and cut that gap down as close as they can entering Portland, after Portland. They need to gain some points without a doubt. And Scott Dixon in a 70-point hole, let's be real. Scott Dixon's in a must-win situation now. It's simple. Dixon needs to win and hope Newgarden has a bad day to get back in this to have a really legit shot. Because you don't want to go into Laguna Seca on a must-win and hoping Newgarden has a bad finish. Like, you want to be as close to it as possible. But yeah, those are the IndyCar points for you. So here are all the Truck Series drivers that are not locked into the second round yet, entering Las Vegas in 3 weeks. So you see now we have 7 drivers fighting for 5 spots, more spots, as Brent Moffitt is the only driver locked into the second round. So you see here Ross Chastain, he's 28 points above the cutoff line. He's the only safe driver in. But after that, it is close. Like Friesen to 6 points out, Crafton 5 points to the good, Hill 4 points to the good, and Enviger only good by 2 points. Sauter is only out by 2 points. Akrum's in a 14-point hole. Ankrum, he's going to need to get stage points at Vegas to have a shot. He could potentially be in a must-win situation at Vegas. But, that's going to be in 3 weeks. So, yeah, as long as Chastain has no problems, he should be safe on points. But we've seen time and time again, under this chase format, with its inconsistency, that no lead is safe. But, yeah, anyway, that's all I gotta say for this video. But yeah, Cup Series back next week at Darlington. I will be doing a reaction video to the Darlington Cup schemes, so you got that to look forward to. But anyway, that's all I gotta say, folks. Hope everyone has a great day, and yeah, peace out.